So one of the lure modifications becoming more popular with striped bass fishermen has been switching out treble hooks for inline single hooks. An inline single hook is basically a regular J hook, except the line tie, is twisted sideways on it. So you can see on a regular J hook, like this Siwash here, the line tie is perpendicular to the curve of the hook, whereas with the inline single, the line tie is twisted so it's parallel to the curve of the hook there. The benefit of having the line tie turned that way is that when it's sitting on a plug, the hook point is going to sit outward, whereas you would need 2 split rings in order to get this hook to sit straight, and even then that's not ideal. So this is beneficial to fishermen that want to outfit their plugs with single hooks instead of treble. So the numbers denoting the sizes of an inline single hook are substantially different from that of the treble hooks. This is a 3.0 VMC treble hook, and this is the 3.0 VMC inline single. So even though I might use a plug with a size 3.0 treble hook, the 3.0 inline single is not the right size for that one. That's going to be a little bit too small. So instead, I'm going to look 2 sizes up at the 5.0 VMC inline treble to replace a plug like a Super Strike Darter that has 2 3.0 trebles on it. Using the Super Strike Darter for scale should give you an idea of the different sizes of inline single hooks. These are 1.0s all the way up to 7.0s here. For this particular plug, I would use either the 5.0 or the 6.0 size, or I'd potentially mix and match using a 6.0 on the belly and a 5.0 on the tail. Rigging a plug with 2 inline single hooks depends on whether you have a rotating belly hook hanger or a fixed hook hanger. The hook is going to want to naturally sit like this as the plug's retrieved through the water column. The hook may sit flush to the plug like that, but when a striper takes in the plug, the hook is going to swing down and give you a shot at a very secure hook set. When placing the tail hook on the plug, you want to make sure the hook is facing up. This will give you a better shot at hooking a fish that may miss the belly hook, and also make sure that the hooks don't work against each other while fighting a fish. What happens with treble hooks quite often is the second hook will lodge into the gill plate or the head of the fish and allow them to leverage those 2 hooks against each other. This is less likely to happen with an upward facing inline single hook on the back. On lures with a fixed hook hanger on the belly, you're going to want to make sure that your hook is again facing out. You don't want the plug to sit with the lure facing back toward the rear, otherwise you're going to miss almost every fish that hits it. And once again, you're going to want that back hook facing up. And that really covers all your bases. So if a fish misses that first one facing down, the back hook facing up is likely to get him. And there you have it. It's going to swim through the water column just like this. And because of that fixed hook hanger, this one's going to sit perfectly straight. Any fish that grabs the plug by the head is going to get that hook right in the corner of the mouth, most likely. While the primary reason I would switch out a treble hook for an inline single hook is to make it easier on the stripers I plan on releasing, it has a lot of applications beyond striped bass. This deep diving minnow plug is a fantastic lure when trolling for bonito or even false albacore, but while you're doing that, you're going to catch a ton of bluefish. And bluefish and treble hooks are just not a good mix. So for this season, I've switched out the small treble hooks on this plug with 2 smaller inline singles. I'm not worried about missing any bonito or albies on this plug, but I do know it's going to be a lot easier to unhook bluefish, and I'll be less likely to put a treble hook in my hand, as seems to happen just about every year of all bonito fishing. While I like the inline single hooks on a lot of swimming plugs, such as darters, minnow plugs, I even like them on needlefish, they are not my favorite for using with pencil poppers. That's because with the side-to-side action of a pencil popper, it makes it more likely for this wide gap hook to whip around the top of it and then catch on the narrow body of the plug like that. Not only is that going to kill the action of the top water, but it's also going to make it very unlikely that a striking fish is going to get that hook. So while you may want to stick with the treble hook as the belly hook on your pencil poppers, you can still do the stripers a favor by switching out that rear treble for an inline single. For additional information about modifying striped bass lures and much more, be sure to swing by onthewater.com. It's not going to do you much good if you rig your hook and the point is facing back toward the plug. Any fish that strikes that is going to inevitably miss the point.